like they are telling you that what you need to do is vote in November. Well, first of all, on the one, your whole life, that is not going to prevent the consolidation of the fascist court, of the separation of powers is one step in the fascist direction. That is not going to deal with the totally fascist mob that you saw in North Dakota the other night. But what about us? You're watching Rachel Maddow tell you every night about some investigation. That's not going to do anything if you're not in the streets. You may not want to hear this, but that's not going to do a damn thing if there isn't the pressure from below. Oh yeah, Manafort will go to jail. So what? The regime will still be in power. The Democrats are not going to be your answer. If you try to make the Democrats what they are not, you will become more like what they actually are. And this is tested. This is a party that has waged war. They criticized Trump in going to North Korea for not being hard enough on North Korea when the man's threatening to incinerate the world with nuclear weapons. These are people who will sand the roughest edges in their rhetoric about this system. They are not going to stand up to Trump. They've given them 16 months. Do not give them another 4 months. The only thing that's going to stop this is people getting out in the streets. Donald Trump and this fascist Republican Party, they are not relying as they are breaking all the rules, and they're going to break it until they can build something different, and that is not a world that you want to live in. But let me say one last thing. As much as I care deeply about people who are standing here and people in this country, I care much more about all of humanity. And that's who's coming across the border here. That's who's in what he called shithole countries in Africa that have been despoiled and destroyed by U.S. imperialism in the Mideast. And that's why we say, in the name of humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America. And that's why we say this nightmare must end. The Trump-Pence regime must go. But that's on all of us. So I want to see you signing up today with Refuse Fascism. And figuring out how many days a week you can take off to become organizers. Because this is serious business, and we can do this. As Brother Travis said, just 2 months ago, the people of Armenia surprised themselves in the world when they drove out a president by being in their capital night after night, day after day, and the president resigned. 2 years ago, they did the same thing in Seoul, South Korea. 5 years ago, it was the Arab Spring. What we're proposing is not outrageous. It's been done everywhere else in the world but here. And here's where it needs to be done most of all. So thank you very much.
Okay, that was Andy Z. Let's hear it by Andy Z. All right, y'all, we're going to be marching very soon. But we got a couple more people we want you to hear from. My name is Sunsara Taylor. And I just want to let you know I'm also one of the initiators of Refuse Fascism. I want to call up here. We're going to hear from Marty of the Raging Grannies. We are going to hear, come on over here. Come on over here. She's going to give us that solidarity statement. I want to get Barry from Rise and Resist ready to come. Give Marty some love, y'all. Raging Grannies.
Thank you. I am a mother, I'm a granny, and I am a raging granny, and I am enraged at what has happened in this country due to Trump and Pence and the whole Republican and government regime. We are all incensed by what has happened. We must say no. We must resist in any way that we can. And so I'm glad that we have a few hundred here today. There will be thousands one of these days. There will be millions. And if we know what's happening in England, they have hundreds of thousands saying no to Trump. He has embarrassed us in this country. He has embarrassed us around the world. Everyone else is saying no. America, say no. USA, say no.
No.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Marty. Okay, are y'all feeling like we should go marching soon? Alright, because that's the idea. We are doing marches, not just here in New York, but in Los Angeles, in Chicago, in Seattle, in Atlanta, in Indianapolis. We are doing this in Philadelphia. We are doing this across the country because this is a national and international emergency. Ready? When I say Trump, Pence, y'all say must go. How's that sound? Alright, we're going to try this out. Trump, Pence, must go! Trump, Pence, must go! Trump, Pence, children separated? Well, this is Barry of Rise and Resist, who was part of organizing that protest.
I strongly support Rise and Resist efforts to fight this fascism that's occurring in this country. And Patricia Okumo and Jay Walker were on the Rachel Maddow show last night discussing this issue, and I completely support them. And the action of her climbing up to the Statue of Liberty was brave and confident. And if we're not going to do this, who is going to do it? We have to support Rise and Resist, and we have to support Refuse Fascism. We have to support Black Lives Matter. All these organizations, we have to stand up against the Trump-Pence regime. They're killing us. They're taking away our health care. They're strengthening the military-industrial complex. They're strengthening the school-to-prison pipeline. They're taking away lesbian, gay, transgender, bisexual rights. They're taking away women's rights. They're getting more power on the Supreme Court. Do we care? Yes. What are we going to do? We have to get out on the streets and march. Posting your anger on Facebook doesn't do anything. If your friends aren't going to come out here, they are not helping. If your families won't come out here, they are not helping. You know who else is not helping? Where is Chuck Schumer? Yeah. He should be outside the detention centers every day, demanding release of these children. And Kirsten Gillibrand. And all the Democrats that represent us in Washington. Every single politician and leader of the Democratic Party should be outside the detention centers right now until all the children are released. We do not agree with Melania Trump. We do care. We do care.
We do care.
We do care.
Everybody, thank you for coming out. Let's march, and the Trump-Pence regime must go.
All right, let's hear it for Barry of Rise and Resist, y'all. Okay, so we got two more people I want you to hear from. As this happens, I need a volunteer. Who wants to step forward and help with an important task? Don't worry, it's not scary. You don't have to talk. You! Come on. Yes, you with the sun. Would you be willing to grab this bucket and put ads on Facebook? We need to spread this to millions. Reach into your pocket. When this beautiful sister walks by, put some money in this basket, in this bucket, yeah? Walk by real slowly and look everybody in the eye so they know you want them to give what they can. And if you can give a lot, give a lot. If you can give a little change, give a little change. Throw in all of us together. Let's fill that bucket up so that this can grow and go forward. As that happens, this sister over here is handing out our call to action. This is our mission statement. This is guidance. Everybody should get this, and then you should go online, refusefascism.org, and sign the pledge on the back of this call to action. Josh, of Stop Separating Families from Brooklyn. He's going to share a few words with you.
I'm from Don't Separate Families in Brooklyn. I just spent a few weeks down on the border on the Rio Grande, standing in front of detention centers like you want the politicians to do. If I were you, I wouldn't wait for them to stand outside there. I would suggest that you go down there and do it yourself. Be careful. I got arrested doing it, but it's worth doing. And what's happening now, as everybody's been pointing out, is that they are preparing larger camps for entire families to be detained. Are they concentration camps? Yeah, they're concentration camps. And I don't know really how we are going to stop them, but I know this. It's going to be up to us. It's going to be up to us to go down there and stand there, even if as was the case, sometimes I was the only one standing there. There are people down there, though, that have been struggling with this for years. A border dividing families and breaking hearts. People come. When they come, it's up to us to open our arms and say, we're here for you. Not, we're going to put you in jail. And that's what's going on down there. Think about going down. Because, you know, look around you here. I don't see any counter-protesters. There's nobody against us. Interestingly enough, there's nobody against us down there except for the goddamn Border Patrol and ICE. There's nobody against us. Everybody's for us. But we got to be there. We got to actually be there in person. We got to use our bodies, our legs. We got to walk up and down. We got to do what we can do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Josh. All right, so we're gonna hear how y'all feeling. Are you ready to march in a minute? The Trump-Pence regime must go, and only the people can stop a fascist America. We are going to take this through the streets of New York, and we're not going to march too fast. We're going to take our time because, as you know, just like in this park today, you raise this sign that Trump-Pence must go, and people stop, and they put their fist up, and they nod, and they smile, and they love this message. But we have to recruit them. And everybody who came here today, you need to become an organizer. You need to become an organizer because we've seen the potential to drive out a regime. We have seen the potential for this in the hundreds of thousands who took to the streets last Saturday. 750 cities, we've seen the potential. But that needs to be transformed. Because right now, if all you do, and it was beautiful last weekend, but if all you do is raise the slogan, keep families together, what does Trump do? He says, okay, I'll build concentration camps that keep those families together. And everybody goes home at the end of the night and back to their lives. That will not stop fascism. But that potential, all those people, that shows you people with heart, people with anger, people who want to see this stop. We have to reach them and we have to organize them. We have to move them from their illusion that they can leave this in the hands of the elections or the investigations or the normal political channels. And we have to carve out a different path, and we have to struggle for them to join us, and a lot of them will join us. But every movement that has changed history has a core of people who are willing to go against the grain. And we have to be those people. You have to become one of the organizers that refuse fascism today. So as we march, we're going to be recruiting, and as you're standing here, I'm letting you know we are recruiting you. So our last speaker before we step off, I want to introduce somebody who back in the 1960s was drafted. He was drafted to fight in Vietnam, and he said, hell no, I refuse to go and kill the Vietnamese people. Instead, he spent 2 years, seriously, 2 years in military prison, refusing to fight and die for the U.S. empire. His name is Carl Dix. He came out of prison. He became a founding member of the Revolutionary Communist Party. He is a fighter for the new communism brought forward by Bob Avakian. And I want you to give some love and listen up to Carl Dix.
All right. I want to thank Sunsara for that introduction. And you are where you need to be today. You're where you need to be today because this regime must be driven out. I mean, what can you say about a regime that rips children from their mother's arms? That it is no damn good, it is an insult to humanity, and it must be stopped. But we gotta go deeper than that. Because this ain't the first time America has ripped children from their mother's arms. America was founded on ripping children from their mother's arms. Slavery, the auction blocks. They ripped children from their mother's arms, sold them to one plantation owner, sold a mother to another. They did the same thing to the native inhabitants, stealing their children, putting them in what they call border schools, trying to make them lose their culture and traditions. And today, America is backing to the hilt, bombing raids in Yemen that have 5 million people, including 2 million children, on the edge of starvation. This is a country and a system that has built its wealth and power on that kind of inhumanity to young people in this country and around the world. Now, we got to stop this regime. We got to drive it out. And Andy talked about how to do that. It ain't going to be no midterm elections. That ain't what you can rely on because the Democrats got no answer for this. It is us, people like us, taking to the streets in massive numbers with one demand. This Trump-Pence regime must go. This is what needs to happen. And we in the Revolutionary Communist Party are all the way down with that. We're throwing our heart and soul into it. But we are not doing this in order to get back to the way America was before Trump. Because none of these horrors that he's intensifying begin with him. And just getting rid of him won't end these horrors. The truth is, it's going to take an actual revolution to end these horrors once and for all. A revolution that we can't do it right now. It ain't time for revolution yet. But when the time comes, we got to be ready to lead millions of people in rising up and overthrowing this system, meeting and defeating its institutions of violent suppression, and going on to build a totally different and far better system. We revolutionaries are here for this whole fight, all the way down to drive out the Trump-Pence regime. And we let you know we are going forward off of doing that to make revolution and get rid of this system once and for all. I call on everybody here to check out this revolution, to check out what it's about, to look at its battle plan, to look at the vision of a new society that its leader, Bob Avakian, has done in the Constitution for a future socialist republic in North America. And I also call on you to go as far as your principles allow you. Don't go halfway. Don't protest a little bit. Don't go out in the streets a little bit and then go back to your life. Because if you can adjust your life to a fascist regime, you have begun to give away your humanity. And sisters and brothers, you do not want to become the kind of person that can find room for themselves in a fascist regime. That is what drove me to refuse to go to Vietnam. I could not find room. You know, they was telling me, go over there, you don't have to kill nobody, just lay in the background, just hook up our messages. Because I was in the Signal Corps. I dealt with communications. They said, just help us communicate. And I'm like, well, what y'all be communicating about? You be communicating about murdering people, mass murder. So if you can find a place for yourself in a fascist regime, you're becoming the kind of person you don't want to be. Your humanity demands to throw in to drive out this Trump-Pence regime. That's what's got to be driving it. And for me, my humanity demanded that I become part of the revolution, and that's what I've been doing ever since. Now I want to briefly bring up some young folks who are going to lay something out about how you can get enlisted in this revolution.
All right, so there's an open invitation out here right now. So if what you just heard from this revolutionary brother just spoke to you, then you need to be in the house tomorrow at Revolution Books, 4 p.m. It's uptown, 132nd Street and Malcolm X Boulevard. We're going to be having an hour of revolution where we're getting into this, getting into what is the strategy, where you can hear clips from the leader of this revolution. And look, we are serious when we say revolution, and we are actively organizing for a time when we can make that happen, and that's what How We Can Win is that he had in his hands. And look, we want to bring this message in to the people of New York so they know that there is an active movement building for a real revolution to put an end to a system that would do this to the masses of people. Carry these signs. I say stop the demonization of immigrants and the militarization of the border. Stop the wars for empire. Stop capitalism and imperialism from destroying our planet. You can come up and carry these with us. But yeah, this is a short invitation. Tomorrow, remember it's tomorrow, 4 p.m. at Revolution Books, 132nd and Malcolm X Boulevard, and we'll see you there.
All right, let's hear it for the Revolution Club. Let's hear it for Kyle Gates. All right, y'all, so if you are somebody who, like the Revolution Club, sees Donald Trump as a concentration of everything that America has always been about since slavery and genocide, then you are in the right place. If you are somebody who believes that America could live up to some other ideals, and that Donald Trump is betraying those ideals, and you want to restore a different vision of America, you are also in the right place. RefuseFascism.org is a movement for everybody. Every religion and atheist, every outlook, every age, every corner of the earth you might have been born on, any language you speak, any color of your skin, this is a movement. If you are in touch with your humanity, if you put humanity above yourself, if you refuse to turn your back, as children are taken, ripped from their parents' arms, Trump has already appointed one Christian fascist, Christian fundamentalist, biblical literalist to the Supreme Court, and is on the cusp of appointing another. And if you know that a real-life Handmaid's Tale is exactly what Mike Pence and all these Christian Dark Ages bigots around him have been fighting for, and they're on the cusp of victory, and you don't want to let them have that ugly victory, you are in the right place. If you know that no Savior is coming from heaven to stop this fascist nightmare, and no Savior is coming from the Democratic Party, and that everything that has ever been won has come from the struggle of the people, and that is needed now more than ever, make some noise! So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We are refusefascism.org. We invite you to join us, to become an organizer with us. If you are part of a different movement, we invite you to partner with us. We need to stand together in the name of humanity. In the name of humanity to stop a fascist America, and that's what we are kicking off today. So we're about to march. We're about to march, and we are going to go up to Times Square to the Military Recruitment Center. We are going to circle that recruitment center and say no to the building of concentration camps on military bases, no to the U.S.-backed arming of Saudi warplanes as they bomb and pummel Yemen, no to the crimes against humanity being threatened by the Trump-Pence regime. We need a couple people to help carry our banner on the front. We need a couple people to help carry this. If you're not carrying a sign or a bucket, please grab one. And we're going to march off together. We're going to make some noise. When I say Trump-Pence, you say must go. Trump-Pence, 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 must go. In the name of humanity, no, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, 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 no. In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America.
No, Travis. No. Can we start moving slowly?
In the name of humanity, we refuse a fascist America. No, no. All right, we got 2 minutes before we're ready to march, but just getting everything together. So let's practice another one. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall.
No ban, no wall.
The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall.
No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. Get louder, y'all. No KKK, no fascist USA.
No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. No
Come on over here.
no KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump,
No KKK, no fascist USA, goddammit! Trump! No KKK, no fascist USA! No Trump! No KKK, no fascist USA! No Trump!
no KKK, no fascist USA.
That's right.
No Trump!
No KKK, no fascist USA.
That's right.
No Trump! No KKK, no fascist USA!
That's right.
No Trump! No KKK,
No fascist USA.
That's right.
Here comes our banner, we're gonna march behind it. I get 1 or 2 volunteers, we have a cart to pull. Anybody willing to step forward? Here we go. Here we go, over here. Go ahead, and you guys can take turns. If you can help right there, thank you so much. Let's hear it for the volunteers. Let's hear it for the volunteers. There we go. All right, y'all. We're going to get lined up behind the banner. Here we go. This way, over here. No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. This way, no Trump. No KKK, no fascist USA. Over here, no Trump. No KKK, no fascist USA.
No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall.
No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall.
Would you like a
The Trump regime has got to fall.
No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall.
The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got
has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall.
The Trump regime has got to fall.
No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall. No ban, no wall. The Trump regime has got to fall.
How we can win. Really make.
The Trump regime has got to fall. The Trump regime has got to go.
No ban, no wall.
The Trump regime has got to fall.
No ban, no wall.
The Trump regime has got to fall.
No ban, no wall. No
And become part of the movement that's fighting to overthrow this system at the soonest possible time. Join us. Yeah.
Not right now.
Drive out the Trump regime. March with us. March with us. Drive out the Trump regime.
March with us. March with us.
Drive out the Trump regime.
March with us. March with us. Drive out the Trump regime. March with us. March with us. Drive out the Trump regime.
Oh, you're welcome, believe me.
Yeah, we're organizing a drive-by. You guys should march with us.
I can't. I gotta go home to my family. But the fortune's best I can do for now.
Thank you.
Good luck at getting rid of him. You're gonna need it. Good luck at getting rid of Trump. You're gonna need it.
I'm gonna need luck.
Well,
Good luck, especially.
you're gonna need it. It's luck as well. I'm sorry. Am I holding you up? Go. Go. Excuse me.
March with us! March with us! Drive out the Trump regime! March with us! March with us! Drive out the Trump regime!
March with us! March with us! March with us! March with us!
Drive out the Trump regime! March with us! March with us!
Sisters and brothers, to say no to a fascist Supreme Court, to say no to Donald Trump's program to make America white again. We say hell no!
Hell no!
We say hell no!
Hell no!
No border wall!
No border wall!
No deportation!
Hell no!
No fascist USA!
Hell no!
Mike Pence!
Must go!
Must go!
Must go!
Trump Pence!
Trump Pence!
Must go!
Must go!
Must go!
Must go!
Join us!
Join us!
In the name of humanity, we must refuse to accept a fascist America. In the name of humanity, in the name of humanity, we must refuse to accept a fascist America. Only the people can stop a fascist America. So we are here at the U.S. Military Recruitment Center, and we are here to say, in the name of humanity, no, please, no to a fascist America. Repeat after me. Very serious moment right now. We are on the eve of a fascist Supreme Court nominee that would tip the courts of this country to submission a reuniting immigrant families. He said, okay. Of course, he didn't reunite those families. They're still separated. But he said, let's build concentration camps on military bases to keep them together. We say, hell no. So this military base, we said we were going to come and we were going to form a human chain around it. So I'm going to ask everybody to come right up here and grab hands with your neighbor. We're going to ask Travis and Eva to help us get organized. Some people over here. If you're holding a sign, hold the sign while you hold hands. You can both hold the same sign. Hold hands and we're going to ring around this whole recruitment center and we are going to say together, if you're just meeting us, come join here. In the name of humanity. 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 We refuse to accept. A fascist America. Donald Trump says America first. We say humanity first. We say humanity first. We say humanity first. We say humanity first. 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 In the name of humanity. In the name of humanity. Trump Pence must go. Trump Pence must go. Come on, y'all, if you're just hearing this, join in and take a hand. Come join the human chain representing 7 billion people on this planet who need us to drive out the Trump Pence regime. How do you feel? How do you feel? Alright, this is a human chain of love for the planet. This is a human chain of love for Muslim sisters and brothers. This is a human chain of love for our immigrant sisters and brothers. This is a human chain of love for our LGBTQ sisters and brothers. This is a human chain of love for our women on every corner of this planet. This is a human chain for respect for the environment and saying no in the name of humanity. In the name of humanity.
In the name of humanity.
In the name of humanity.
In the name of humanity.
In the name of humanity.
In the name of humanity.
We refuse to accept.
We refuse to accept
A fascist America.
a fascist America.
Who's gonna drive them out? We are. Who's gonna drive them out?
We're gonna drive them out.
Who's gonna drive them out?
We're gonna drive them out.
Who's gonna drive them out?
We're gonna drive them out.
Who's gonna drive them out?
We're gonna drive them out.
In the name of who? In the name of humanity. In the name of humanity.
In the name of humanity.
We want the world to see us right here in the center of Times Square. Today we make a pledge. Yes, we're about 100 people out here encircling this recruitment center, saying no to building concentration camps on military bases for our immigrant sisters and brothers. We are here to say no, not America first, but humanity first. We are here to say no to Donald Trump, to Mike Pence, to Jeff Sessions, and we are here to make a pledge to the people of the world that we will not rest until we have organized millions in this country to stand up before it is too late to drive out a fascist regime. We see the potential for this in the massive protests, hundreds of thousands in hundreds of cities across the country against repeating guns to immigrants. We need to reach them, we need to transform them, and we need to organize them into this movement. A fascist on the Supreme Court who is determined. Donald Trump's already told you in the media, they're like, oh, will they take away Roe v. Wade? Donald Trump has told you. He campaigned on taking away women's right to abortion, on rolling back LGBTQ rights, on assaulting the rights of women, of black people, of immigrants all over this country, and of carrying out a fascist program against the people of the world. And we are here with fascism.org because only the people can stop a fascist America. And so I want to give a shout out to everybody who marched with us. I want to give a shout out to everybody who joined us on the way. And I want to tell you right now that we need you to stay connected. There are millions who are disturbed right now, who are outraged right now, but left to themselves, left to the advice of Rachel Maddow and the normal pundit, they are going to put their faith in the elections, they are going to step back, and they are going to do what too many people have been doing for the last year and a half, which is cross their fingers and hope that this fascist agenda doesn't hit them and make them vote. That we cannot allow. History is filled with examples where people who had right on their side fought against tremendous odds and were victorious. It is also full of examples where people sat back and waited and ended up being swallowed up by a nightmare beyond what they ever imagined. The future is unwritten. There is a basis to stop this regime, but it is up to us to make that real. We have to organize together. We have to spread this demand. The Trump-Pence regime must go. We have to take up the call to action from refusefascism.org. We're going to spread it everywhere. Tomorrow we're taking it to the churches. Sign up with us right now. Tell us if you can go out tomorrow. We're going to take this to the churches. Monday night, we're going to be back at Union Square saying hell no to Donald Trump's new appointment to the Supreme Court. And we have a meeting on Wednesday night. You got to come on Wednesday night. You know this felt good. This felt good today. But you also know, and it does feel good, but you also know that this is not enough to stop Trump and Pence. So we've got to get organized. Trump, Pence!
Must go!
Trump, Pence!
Must go!
Trump, Pence!
Must go!
All right.
I'm very happy to see all the people that come out to support this rally. I think it's very important. It's very important to recognize that
Down with Zionism!
These are anti-Semitic.
Down with Zionism!
You want to kill Jews? You
We
want to
said
kill
nothing.
white
We
people?
love Jews. We love Jews.
Oh, but you don't like Israel, right?
Hate
But
Zionists!
you don't like Israel, right? But you want to destroy Israel.
Again, I just told you not to talk about
I'm just reporting it. They started
Go
with
there,
me.
sir.
We are here to represent the interests of 7 billion. Let's try to answer this voting for a very short, quick message. Give a very similar time together, okay?
we have Democrats that have attended rallies and have been arrested. We have Democrats that have been opposing Trump's agenda since he took office. And if it were not for the Democratic Party, we would be in a much worse position than we are in right now. This is why the Republicans are gerrymandering districts. This is why they're doing faulty interstate cross-checking of votes so they can throw out votes. This is why there are voter suppression laws that are being backed by the GOP and even Donald Trump. He's encouraging it. And the reason why they're encouraging it is because people like you that want to see America work for all Americans, you are the majority. In 2016, almost 3 million people voted for Hillary Clinton, and more than 7 million people voted for somebody other than Hillary Clinton or Trump. 10 million Americans that were part of the electorate rejected Trump's campaign of hate. Your greatest form of resistance is voting. No, we cannot wait till November. We have to rally. We have to sign petitions. We have to have conversations so that we can build solidarity. And we can have a clear vision for what we need to do to save our country. Because what's happening right now, is about what type of country we want to be.
We come from many different perspectives, but we are staring soberly at the fact that the only way to remove a fascist regime is through massive struggle from below, outside the official channels. And we have seen this all over the world, in Armenia 2 months ago, in South Korea 2 years ago. It is possible to drive out a hated regime through massive political, nonviolent protest, and in fact it is the only way. Hey! How's that? Okay, even more so. All right, I don't want to keep us here that much longer. We want to spend some time talking to each other, but I just want to reiterate, we are getting organized to reach the thousands today and soon millions to launch a sustained struggle that stays in the streets and creates the kind of massive political crisis that forces this regime out of office. We are doing that for Muslims, for immigrants, for women, for LGBT people, for the planet, for black people, for the people of the world. For the people of the world, and no one is going to do it for us. It is our responsibility. So I want to give you a shout out for being here, and I want to ask you to seriously make a promise right now. Make a promise to yourself and make a promise to the people of the world that this will not be the last time we see each other. That you are going to follow through on what we started today. Everybody has a role to play. Everybody can do something. We can learn from each other in the process. Stick around and talk with one of the organizers. Come to the protest Monday night against the Supreme Court Justice. And let's go forward and change this. Let's go forward and drive out this regime. Let's go forward and stop a fascist America. All right, y'all, you look good. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.